We have Grandmaster Anish Giri on our screens. He is taking on Praggnanandhaa in the Grand Chess Tour in Zagreb. A very interesting game. And there you have Praggnanandhaa, shake of hands. Both of them good friends of each other and have always given exciting battles. Our journey of commentating from the airports continues. One of our previous videos was from the Chennai airport, then from the Mumbai airport, and now this one from the San Francisco airport in USA. I hope that you will enjoy this battle because this one is a thrilling game. And Praggnanandhaa now getting ready for this big clash. He has the white pieces. He has been opening in this tournament with the move b3. Will he continue doing that? The players shake hands and off we go. Pawn to b3 by Pragg. And Anish taking his time for the first move, not being pretty sure what to do. He goes c5. And now bishop comes to b2, knight c6, and we have the English, the symmetrical English with c4. Generally, you want to play g3, bishop g2 in such structures, not b3, bishop b2. Anish goes e6. And right now, after e6, white is thinking what to do. Knight f3. He brings his knight out to f6, and Pragg does go for the double fianchetto with bishop g3, bishop g2, d5, takes, pawn takes, and now bishop g2. Black does have the opportunity to push the pawn to d4. I wonder if Anish is thinking about it because it blocks the bishop here on b2. h5 played, trying to create play on the king side. But is that dangerous? Pragg says no, it's not. He castles. Bishop e7 comes in by Anish pretty quickly. So I'm a bit curious as to why did Anish insert this move h5? Is it to his advantage or disadvantage? That remains to be seen. And that's a very interesting point that will be used in this game, whether h5, h4 will come in, will it not come in? Let's see. But Pragg has been taking some time for this move, hasn't really played it. He goes h4. He says to Anish, I respect your decision of h5, and plays h4, short castles, pawn to d4, played in the center, pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, and the bishop comes to g4. Look at the speed with which Anish is playing here. He's taking some important decisions pretty quickly. Knight comes out to c3, and now rook e8, a very useful move. The bishop and the rook are eyeing the e2 point. So Pragg has to be careful related to the tactics that could potentially come there. He goes rook c1, putting the rook on the open file, and Anish goes rook c8. White would love to take and then blockade on the dark squares with knight a4, knight c5. The bishop would be perfect, the other bishop would be very nice, but in such structures you always have to worry about your weakness on the e2 point. Knight comes back to f3 for Pragg. So very interesting decision by Praggnanandhaa. He says that the bishop on g4 is very strong and putting pressure on e2, and I don't want it to be so active. So he brings his knight back. a6 by Anish. Maybe just stopping knight b5 to d4 maneuver. How is Pragg going to create some play here? Is very interesting for me because this position is so evenly balanced. It's not so simple for both sides. Pragg now down to 3 minutes 30 seconds. He is taking quite a bit of time. How to continue? Maybe queen d3. He goes a3, which is also logical. He may want to go b4, b5 to gain space on the queen side. Anish has to decide where to put his bishop here on e7. It's in the way of the rook, and maybe it could go to d6. Maybe it could drop back to f8. There's also a possibility to play queen d7 with the idea of trading the bishops on h3. Pragg down to 3 minutes 16 seconds. Anish has 4 minutes 19 seconds here. And this is the move where Anish has been a little bit confused perhaps what to do. There's also an idea to switch your rook from c7 to d7. He moves his queen to d6. Very interesting move. I'm a bit unsure what his idea could be. Is he looking at some kind of an attack here on d6, on g3? Well, not so sure. Pragg goes b4. Anyway, gaining space. Rook d8. That was the plan. To just double on the d file and threaten d4. Now d4, a real idea here. And Anish, I don't know if Pragg could now just go queen b3, putting pressure and then freeing up the d file for the rook. The isolated queen pawn position often leads to a situation where the side with black must do something active. If he does not, then his position can get very passive. And I think Anish has been trying to play actively, but Pragg has placed his pieces quite well. I'm also actually very curious if knight a4 to c5 makes any sense, because putting pressure on the b7 pawn could be really a good idea. Queen d3 played by white. So queen to d3, trying to double down the d file, but now Anish can very well push his pawn to d4, which could be a very nice move. Knight a4, and yes, the pawn is a bit weak, but then again, such moves actually have to be played. It limits the bishop on b2. It does put pressure on the e2 pawn. And Pragg down to 2 minutes 11 seconds. Anish down to 2 minutes and few seconds. The players have been playing a bit too slow, I must say that. Goes knight e4. Wow, what a move. And his idea is, if you take, queen takes, then bishop g5 attacks the queen and the rook. He goes rook f d1. He brings his rook into the center. Pragg is very, very certain about his ideas here. He's just centralizing all his pieces and now putting real pressure on the d5 pawn. But hey, we can go bishop f6, pinning here on b2. That would be a nice move. But Anish is not playing. Here he's at 2 minutes 44 seconds. He takes on c3. He has 2 minutes 21 seconds. Praggnanandhaa 2 minutes 3 seconds. He takes with the bishop on c3. And now maybe d4. Can we do that? I'm not sure. Bishop f6 he plays. And he's offering a trade of bishops. I guess you have to take it as Praggnanandhaa. You could take on f6 potentially. No, he goes rook d2. Quite a weird move, I must say. Tripling perhaps on the d file, putting more pressure on d5. But now d4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, Anish goes for it. d4. Bishop goes to b2. Will the d pawn be a weakness or a strength? I love the fact how this rook just keeps putting pressure on e2. Queen e6 played. And now maybe an idea could very well be to take on f3 and then play knight e5. That could be possible. Pragg goes queen b1. You can see that Pragg is making certain artificial moves here, and that cannot be too good. Now doubling down the d file could be possible. Rook d7, rook d8. Just keep the d4 pawn alive. Sometimes, as per Nimzovich's theory of overprotection, if you can overprotect a key point in your position, it doesn't matter if your pieces are active or not, they are doing a good job. Because that key point is limiting a lot of your opponent's pieces. Rook d7 found by Anish. Fantastic understanding of chess there shown by the Dutch number 1. Rook d7, he goes rook d1 doubling. Anish also doubles. For now, Pragg under a lot of pressure. Both players have just 1.5 minutes on the clock here. And you can see there, Pragg is saying like, what should I play now? Queen a1, another. Look at the pressure on the d pawn, guys. 1, 2 from the queen, 3 from the rook, 4 from another rook, 5 from the knight. And there are 1, 2, 3 and 4 defenders. Man, This is insane. But you know what? After you take on d4, the e2 pawn would also be hanging, which is the reason why Anish goes queen e7, not worrying about the fact that Pragg will take the pawn on d4. Well, Pragg could take it potentially. That would simplify everything, because then you just take everything on d4, like take, and then e2 would hang eventually. But okay, anyway, he doesn't go for it. Let's not rush ahead of ourselves. Queen c1 played by Pragg, and I think Pragg is playing on this fact that it's not easy for both sides to improve here, which is the reason why he's taking it a bit slow. Queen c1, and now Anish also going down below a minute. Pragg has 58 seconds. What is Anish Giri going to play here? He's thinking g6 played by him. 42 seconds for Anish, rook e1. And now Pragg knows that he can play a bit quickly. He will be able to put pressure on Anish. Rook d6, Anish also moving back and forth. They could very well just keep moving back and forth and draw the game. But, well, for now that's not the case. I think Pragg wants to play. He goes knight g5. He's opening up his bishop on g2 here. But now knight e5 could be nice, with the idea of getting into the c4 square. Will Anish play it? No, he goes bishop f5. But now there's a nice move, e4. Because after takes, you take on g7. This is not possible because the queen is hanging. Oh, insane pins and tactics. e4 found by Pragg with just 40 seconds. And the thing is, e4 is not just the only move. e5 is coming, then e6 is coming. There is a lot of possibilities here. And clearly, guys, Anish has to move the bishop. He could not take en passant. Now e5. Possible take. If you take with knight, I have f4 winning a piece. So you need to move the rook. Rook d7. And now even bishop takes c6, breaks the structure. You could go even f3 followed by f4. Many possibilities lie here for white. Praggnanandhaa trying to focus in, trying to zone in about what needs to be done. And he plays pawn to f4. He pushes here. Bishop at 6 played. Knight jumps into e4. White's position clearly better here. Praggnanandhaa goes king h2. d3 pushed. Knight jumps into c5. Rook c7. He picks up the pawn. Pragg is now a pawn up. Clear pawn up. Brings with the knight back. Rook d7 played by Anish. Anish has 16 seconds, 19 seconds for Pragg. Knight jumps back. Rook comes into the center. Rook c2. He's left the rook. Is it almost trapped here? He brings rook c1, plays his rook to e2. Anish is not getting rid of this rook on the 7th rank. Goes to c2, king g1 with the idea of bishop e4 to trap the rook, queen d8. And he finds it. Bishop e4, the rook is trapped. Totally winning now, Praggnanandhaa. Completely, look at this, how the rook has been trapped here. Cannot go here, cannot go here. Oh, he can go to e2. He goes there, rook e2, but takes. And now queen e1, bishop g4, but Pragg is a pawn up. He can take another pawn. He will be 2 pawns up, he chops it off. Queen here, jumps back, a5. Pragg is 2 pawns up, he's totally winning. Everything is on course for victory for him. Knight e7, queen comes up to d2, king h7. And now bishop d4. Bishop d4 played, queen b5 played. And then bishop goes back to f2, knight jumps to f5. And bd5 played here, putting pressure. Queen f1. Oh, there's a check coming in. Bishop g2. Good move by Pragg. Queen comes back. Knight jumps to e4. He's coming in. A check here. Queen b3. This is all over. Go queen d8 and check. He goes check first. King g8 goes in with the queen. Bishop f8, and he moves the wrong bishop. He wanted to play bishop d5. Insane touch to move. Oh my goodness. Knight e3. Pragg now has to play bishop f2. Only move to win. No, he comes back, but that's not good now. He actually touched the wrong bishop. He wanted to play bd5, which would have been game over. King g2. Queen to c4 played, king h2. And bishop c8. Oh my goodness. the position is still winning for Pragg if he had found e6 there. But now Anish is back because the light squares are super weak. And now he's losing. He's losing because there was a mate on g2. Things turned around so quickly here. And it's all over, and Praggnanandhaa cannot believe what has just happened here. Insane. That one moment where he just let go of that piece but realized he had picked up a wrong piece there. Instead of the light squared bishop, he had picked the dark squared bishop. And of course Anish is now just completely winning. Praggnanandhaa resigns. What a turnaround. And look at Pragg's expression. He can't believe that this happened. Very, very sad. But Anish was alert. He took his chances. And Pragg's day is not going so well here at the Grand Chess Tour in Zagreb. Let's have a look at that key moment. This is the key position. Let's try to understand what happened. Pragg touched his bishop on f2 and moved it to c5. Now, according to my understanding, it either could be that he wanted to play bishop d5, which is just game over. There's just no way anything can happen here. f7 is hanging and then this will also fall. But I guess what happened perhaps is that he played his bishop to c5. He realized he's winning here. But then he just noticed, oh my god, the g3 pawn is falling. And this would lead to an instant draw with perpetual checks. And so that's the reason why he again brought his bishop and played it back to e1, after which knight e3 came in. Although I guess it's still winning for white, it became considerably tougher because you are losing your light squared bishop.